Hi everyone, my name is Wahid Lutfi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to program in Python programming language or programming language, as well as how to use these two programming language to interact with a MySQL database and use a structured query language or SQL to just manipulate data, basically using the database management system that is with MySQL or any other database instance. They all have a DBMS inside there. And then I'm going to show you how to use Python, RStudio, and Visual Studio Code, all of them in one video to do this one. So that is youtube.com at MyWebUniversity. This video will be posted. As you can see here, I'm just basically showing you all of them in one video, Python or MySQL structured query language. And Python programming language is very great programming language. It's a general purpose language that allows you to connect to a database, read the data, and as well as write games, as well as write AI stuff, as well as data science. So similarly, R language is a statistical software that allows you to do a lot of data manipulation using certain packages, as well as connect to a database. R is not general purpose language, R is functional programming, and it does have object and class, but Python is both a functional and object-oriented programming, as you might have seen my other videos on it. And then I'm going to use the Visual Studio IDE to interact with Python, and then RStudio IDE for using R language. And then we're going to be connected to a MySQL workbench, MySQL database, and then MySQL workbench, my Oracle, Informix, Sybase, Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL Server, all of those databases, whether it is on the Windows side or the Linux side or the other operating system side that you can name of, those databases, they are all provide something called a structured query language, or because it is structured to have tables in a very nice format and that are normalized, and then it's also allowing you to do if statement, procedures and stores procedures, triggers and everything. So it's called a structured query language. At the same time, it is called a standard query language because it is same syntax as whether it's data definition language, data manipulation language, or data control language. They're all supported on all the databases, whether it's MySQL, Oracle, Sybase, Informix, Microsoft Access, SQL Server, all of them, they allow you to do a structured query language. Unless you could call it as a NoSQL, that is a different ballgame. Or maybe LDAP, which is a lightweight and direct access protocol. So there are different object-oriented programming. There's relational database. On all the relation databases that I just named, Informix, Sybase, Oracle, Postgres, Ingress, and then Microsoft SQL Server, Microsoft Access, all of them, they use a standard query language or SQL. And that is common. This video will be posted at youtube.com /at MyWebUniversity. At MyWebUniversity is my YouTube channel handle. I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe to the channel, and that would be very nice of you. Thank you so much in advance. So I'm going to be talking about what is DBMS, Database Management System. And then we have a number of clients. I only listed these clients on this situation. And let's say the client could be MySQL Workbench, or they could be running on a local host, which is local to the machine, but you could connect through Microsoft accessed. You could connect through command line. You can connect to a terminal or Studio, Python, Visual Studio Code, any other IDEs that I didn't list it here. You connect through those clients and make calls, API, application program interface, or function calls, and then do it. And I'll show you Python and R Studio and Visual Studio Code today using MySQL Workbench, connecting to a local host, and that is a database instance that is running here. Again, every instance of database, they have something called DBMS, Database Management System. They all have a data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, in order to just do the data storage, data retrieval, data queries, all of that through these languages. So let's discuss what is a DBMS. A DBMS, which stands for Database Management System, is the core part of the operating system, I mean the database. Like kernel is the core part of the operating system, DBMS is the main or core part of a database management system or database system. So a database management system, a system that is a software system that is designed to manage and organize data in a structured manner. This is structured manner meaning that it is a structured query language, also called, or standard query language I mentioned. SQL stands for structured query language as well as standard query language. It's structured because a lot of the tables or bigger tables are broken into smaller tables in a normalized form, so you have no anomalies for insertion, deletion, or update. At the same time, it is, as I mentioned, it is a standard because it is supported in multiple database instances, such as Oracle is a relational database, MySQL is a relational database, In-Farsi, Sybase, Microsoft Access, Microsoft SQL Server. SQL Server is also transactional kind of database. So like LDAP I mentioned earlier is hierarchical database. So at this time, let's go to say that DBMS is the core part of the operating system. However, like the kernel is the core part of the operating system, and that DBMS is the core part of the database. But what does that mean, the core part of the operating system? You might be asking that question. That's a very good question. Let me explain it to you better. So when you say it's a core part of the operating system, the DBMS has a lot of data definition language to support creating tables, creating users, creating database, creating synonyms, creating views, dropping them, deleting them, manipulating them. So all of those, not manipulating, the data definition languages, when you define and destroy or delete a record or a table or something. So everything that has to do with create, drop table or create a table, like creating user, creating views, creating synonyms, all of that one has to do, or indexes, all of that one has to do with definition of the language, data defined language, right? So data definition language, all this create statement, like drop statement, all of those ones you use as for data definition language. At the same time, a database has option for data manipulation language. So data manipulation language is a statement like insert, update, delete. So you're manipulating records in one or more tables, or you're deleting a record within a table. By deleting a record, you're manipulating. By inserting a record, by running an update statement, sometimes a select statement, which is a read-only record, you could just do query that we call it nested SQL statement. So you say create table B and then select a star from table A. So you say create table as select a star from table B, from table A, and you create table A by just using the create statement. However, you have to read all the table record from table already existing, table A. So a select statement in that way is data manipulation language also. And then we also have data control language within a DBMS. And data control language is allowing you to access the data based on certain privileges. If you're a DBA, you have higher privilege. If you're a regular user, you might have regular user privilege. And if you're on the operation team or net team or development team, all of those ones, they have different access control language, which is basically, you could say, grant this user access for on all tables or on a given table or on a given indices. Whatever you want to give, grant, or revoke, those are called data control language. And then sometimes you could do it cascaded grant. So you could say, give it DBA access also as well. So on those situations, you could just do data control language. So you could do a data control language by granting and revoking privilege that way. And then we're going to talk about normalization. Normalization is, there are all kind of steps that you have to do to normalize a database. And that the reason you do normalize is to take care of anomalies, insertion anomaly, deletion, update anomaly, by removing redundancies and duplicates in a table. You basically use one of these forms, which we call it first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, or bias coded normal form, or fourth normal form. Once a database in the fourth normal form, it's already in bias code normal form. If it's on bias code normal form, it must be on third normal form, second normal form, and first normal form. So it goes downward that, for example, if it is on second normal form, it is, must be on first normal form to start with. So once something is on first normal form, then you could just make sure that it's on third and so on. All of them, when you're on a database with the fourth normal form, you have removed all the redundancies by using primary key, foreign key relationship to link bigger, decompose larger tables into smaller tables and have a linkage between them using these keys that I'm going to talk later. So normalization, what is it? Normalization is a process of elimination of anomalies. What are the anomalies? The anomalies could be insertion, could be update, could be delete. For example, if you want to just insert the record into a table, but you cannot do it because the record already exists, and then you're just inserting it with same record, and then it doesn't allow it, that means the data is preventing anomaly, so it does not allow you to have duplicate or redundant record for the same one, which is a good thing because your table is normalized for the first normal form. And similarly for update, if you're updating a record and then it does allow you to say, for example, update a record, and then that would be anomalies, then it is a problem. So you're updating a field or a column, and that column allows you to have redundant information or information that are not consistent. Integrity of data is very, very important on the update part. Similarly, what deletion, when you're deleting a record on a database, if the database is not normalized, when you delete it and maybe there's 10 rows of 10 records or rows of same record that was inserted because you did not have primary key, foreign key relationship, and then it allowed you to have multiple duplicate rows for the same information, then all of a sudden when you delete it, it deletes all of them. Or you delete two of them and still there's redundancies are happening on the database. So when you do normalization, you're just getting rid of anomalies that are insertion, update, or deletion. And also in a database, we use keys to normalize it. So a database instance, by breaking a larger table, you break larger table into smaller ones to reduce redundancies as well as eliminate anomalies. And those anomalies could be insert, update, or delete. So you can, if you could insert into a record or into a database with multiple duplication, then it is insertion anomaly there. But normalization will eliminate those. You could also decompose a larger table into well-structured tables and link them by relationship. So the relationship could be one-to-one or one-to-many or many-to-many. Those relationships are done through primary key and foreign key relationship. And then sometimes foreign key is also called a secondary key. Because it is foreign to the second table, or it is on a second table. So you have a primary key on table one, and then a foreign key that is matching the primary key of a table that's foreign to table one. That's how it's called, a foreign key and primary key. And then there are type of different type of keys. What are the keys? And the normalization, when you do break a larger chunk of larger table into smaller structured tables, and when you do those ones, you just basically define them primary keys and foreign keys. So they are very easy to store data, very easy to retrieve data, very easy to update there. So the insertion, update, delete, and modify data manipulation language, data control language, data definition language, all of those ones are happening at the ease rather than just having some problem or duplication, because you have defined these keys to make sure that relationships are updated accordingly. So if some employee leaves the company, their dependencies records are also deleted, for example. And that way that there's no records matched for a child or another dependent, and that is the employee is no longer there. That's called cascaded delete. So when you delete the primary key of a given employee, saying that all the records that are matching on 10 other tables, it should do the same thing. So it should delete all the consistently cascaded delete. Similarly, if you are updating a record for a given student in a university, every time he or she takes another biology or physics or computer science class, the grades gets updated, and then the building number, the office of the teacher, everything, all that information is related to those tables. So if the major gets changed from computer science to math or math to computer science, those records should be populated accordingly with the update statement. So it could be cascaded within multiple tables, and that's what I'm trying to say. In this case, I'm going to discuss what is a primary key, what is a secondary key or foreign key, what is alternative key, what is candidate key, what is composite key, and what's unique key. So prior to choose the primary key, every column on a field or candidate key. That's why they are called candidate key. Candidate key meaning that all the columns in a table, they are candidate to be a primary key. Once you choose the one column or a multiple columns to be uniquely identified a record within a table, then that list becomes your primary key. Every other key column that was not used within the primary key, they're alternate key. That's why they call it alternate. So everything, all the columns are candidate to be a primary key and a foreign key or secondary key. But once you choose which one is the primary key and which one is the secondary key, then every other key become alternate key. So candidate, alternate, and primary key. And what is a secondary key? Secondary key or foreign key or keys that has relationship with a primary key of another table. So it is secondary to table A, but then it might be the primary key of table B. Similarly, foreign key is just synonyms for primary key. I'm sorry, for secondary key and foreign key, you can change it interchangeably. You can use both of them there. So, and what is a composite key? Composite key is when there's more than one column. Like, for example, first name, last name, address. Some record in a database, if you don't have like social security to just identify as a primary key, or account number as a primary key, or maybe DMV license number as a primary key, or employee ID as a primary key, those keys, sometimes you identify more than one field, like first name, last name, maybe customer ID, or something like that. A customer ID could be just a unique number incremented by the system, so incrementally just generated automatically. You could do customer ID, something like that with as a primary key. But sometimes if you have address itself is made up of more than one column or one field. And so sometimes you could put like address and then phone number and other ones as a composite key. Unique key, it could be a list of keys or one key that identifies uniquely one record in a database. Similarly, primary key is one or more field that identifies a record in a database as unique. So that's why primary key, for example, Social Security, there's only one Social Security for each individual person. There's only one license plate number for every person. There's only one bank account number for every person. So that's why they are called primary key, main key, right? And then we're talking about normalization. When we do normalization, in the process, we minimize redundancy and eliminate duplicate as well as anomalies. So how do we duplicate anomalies? We make sure that insertion happens without having a duplicate record on the table. Or redundancy in the table. Similarly, the update gets updated correctly, but there's no the redundancies or duplicate data. And deletion similarly. And this session right here, I just wanted to thank both of those. Actually, one of them, all the videos that I showed, I want to just thank Azad for putting this one on Unsplash. Unsplash is really nice because you could use these very nice graphic or art that they did a very good design. Azad did it in this case. So if you are using Unsplash, this is free for you to just since it's like public domain, you can use it for your videos on YouTube and other ones. So I'm using it, and I want to thank Azad for all the nice work that he did. And then at the same time, this one is also Azad that he did it for SQL Server. I presented this one for MySQL and one for SQL Server. So I wanted to show you that DBMS, and this is part of every database server, whether you're using Oracle, SQL Server, Microsoft Access, any one of them, you have it. For example, Oracle here is another database that is a giant database for larger database. MySQL is also owned by Oracle. And then SQL Server is owned by Microsoft. Microsoft Access is owned by Microsoft. A lot of databases, a vendor company is owning it, and then they just are supporting it. And for larger size database, we usually use on the Unix, Solaris, and Red Hat Oracle databases, and then MySQL, as well as on Windows, MySQL Server, SQL Server, MySQL database. On the MySQL database can be used on the Linux, Mac, Windows, anything. Similarly for Oracle database, similarly for other ones. But when I was saying that the large support for Oracle on the database, usually it was on the enterprise level in the past. Now people are using it on the client side as well as Windows operating system, Linux, Mac, and everything. Okay, so I did provide you this, and then now I'm going to shift gear and actually show you coding. Before I do that one, let me just introduce you to my channel. And this is MyWebUniversity, my YouTube channel in English. I have more than 1,400 videos. You're welcome to subscribe and like and make some comments. And I'm making more improvement every time I get a chance. And I would appreciate your nice comments as well. And then this is my website for mywebuniversity.com that I have both my English version of YouTube channel as well as for C version. That's for people of my country. I was born in Kabul, Afghanistan. When I was about 19 years old, I lived under the Russian war. So in the past 38 years or something, I have been in the US, and then yes, I am an old man and then I'm here to serve you. That's what I have learned enough, and I can help you enough. I hope that you guys join and then just watch these videos. And then this is my online book, The Direct Path to Linux Ubuntu. That's about 14 chapters. And then I have shown you in the past. You're welcome to see all these chapters. There's about 32,000 PDF files on them. So whether you want to learn Rocky Linux, you can just come in and just look at PDF files and then just continue reading them. Or on your browser or Red Hat, if you want to do Red Hat 12,000 here. So a lot of the technical documentation, you don't need to buy books. All you need is a browser and internet access, and everything on one page. I have it for you. Whether you're learning Ubuntu, C++, C, Python, and there's also dynamic generation that you can generate it on the fly. For example, something that is not on a manual pages, since I knew that somebody is going to use it, I wanted to just generate, for example, let's say you want to learn Bash scripting, and then you could just see it's about 87 pages long, this one. And if you want to say, how about GCC, for example, the GNU C collection compiler. So when you search on that one, GCC, and let's see if, did I click on it? Okay, so it should come up soon. Maybe it is busy a little bit, and then generating it. Because that one is actually, I should give it like less than a minute. It will just update this one, because that one is about 500 pages, so it will just take a little bit time. And then at the same time, while that one is running, I'm going to go here and show you the MyWebUniversity In-Farsi. I have a lot of videos here as well, and you're welcome to watch those ones and then subscribe and learn from it. This is all in Farsi. I speak Farsi, Dari, a little bit Urdu, Hindi, and then English also. I'm very, very fluent in Farsi, and then also okay with English, as well as maybe I can read and write Arabic because of the Holy Quran. So that's my kind of personality, that if I learn something, I want to pass it on to the next one. Knowledge is power. By sharing, you make us all powerful. And then, so right here, you see that when I went through this, I came back and GCC already generated here. You can see it is about 399 pages long, the PDF. So you can just give it a little bit time, a few second to 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, 1 minute, and it will just do it. Like, for example, R is not that big right away, it just a few seconds, it just generated. And then when you learn about R, you can see here, you can also go to like r-projects. And then if you just want to see code reusability, obviously, when you come in on these sites, I make it code reusable. So somebody else or some organization, some company did the work, and I just allow you to just find a page on the URL, and then you can just go there, and then thousands of other documentation at your fingertips, and like HTML format as well as PDF format. So if you're looking for the writing R extension in PDF format, you could just click on that and start reading. At the same time, if you are coming on my website and say, okay, Wahid, great, can I do that one for Python 3? Yeah, just type in Python 3 here. Any Linux commands you type in, I will give you the output here in PDF format. Normally, you have to be logged on a Linux machine or a Windows PowerShell or Windows operating system to see those commands, run the man page or help command or get-help for PowerShell. But I made it so simple because when I was teaching at Pasadena City College, a couple of my students asked me, say, I cannot afford to get the book. Can I just get the PDF version, which is $7 to $12? And I know the pain because I went through that myself. So I just thought that, well, I could write a Python program. These are all kind of GNU open source documentation that is available on the Linux server, but I can just compile them and run the program in Python to generate them, and then write a shell script to have these kind of PDF files on combination of these things, and then at the same time produce it on a web page. Now all they have to do is come in here, type in the name, and then they search for it. So like here, if we do Python 3, and you say, well, how is that going to give me more help on documentation? Wahid, let me show you a trick here. So you're here, you do Control F here, and you type in HTTPS. Well, why you type in HTTPS? Because I know on this documentation, everybody that wrote the documentation since 1936, when AT&T version of Unix was produced till now, all operating system, all the documentation, all the developers, millions of people contributing, they're all writing some kind of author and references and how you can just find out the hyperlink. So hyperlink transfer protocol secure HTTPS will just show you where are these ones. So my Python script, I made it that code reusability. What does that mean? You just click here and I take you to that python.org website. And then after that one, you can just click on the donate or grant if you want to help them, or just go to documentation, anything you could do. So like here, you click on the docs, now you have thousands of documentations, all right? So for every version, you can see that there's tutorials, you can learn a lot of them, and each one of them you click, and then there's examples, you can practice them online. And then you can also, there are sites that you can test them. And then if you just are more interested to learn, just come here on the my main page. Here I just also, as I taught it, say for example, basic of Linux commands or intermediate command or advanced commands, each one of them, you just click on it, you will see an output. Like here, I made this 88 columns of 88 commands. So each row consists of 11 commands of 8 rows. So that's 88. So if you're looking for like, let's say process stream 3, I just gave you what is process stream 3, display a tree of processes. And so this one is going to look at the $sign is the main process, and process stream 1 is the process 1, which is system D. So if you click on this one, I tell you as an example that the output of that one, let's say I click on this, and it's just generating This is your command, and this is your output. You can see the output there. And then also at the same time, if you say man PS3, I'll just produce you the manual page here on HTML format. Earlier I showed you the PDF version. Now you can see, for example, let's say you want to say Python 3, or let's do another command like scanf. So scanf is a standard io.h and then header files, and then right here you can see standard io.h is there. Scanf is to read information. Similarly, like if you do a command like pwd, print working directory, it will give you the output there. Uname dash a, you will just dash a doesn't mean here you just say uname, that's good enough. It will tell you the manual pages. But if you want to execute the command, I have also on my chapter 5 option for you to run the commands. So just showing you this information. If there are some commands that is, for example, user add, user mode, user del, or group add, group mode, all of those commands require a privilege like root access. So in order for me to teach you that one, I just provide you this documentation. And example by example, you just go there and read it, and you could be logged on a Linux machine with root access and then do those commands. Similarly, for chapter, let's say chapter 3, intermediate commands, right? So I have a list of commands here that you can run. For example, let's say you want to say what does df does. Df is showing you data format of the disk, how the data was formatted. You can see here that I give you example in the what is section and the manual pages. Every time you type in the man df, it will just give you the df command output here. But if you want to say what is df -h extended for file system does, here's your command and here's your output. And then similarly, if you say, well, that's great, how about the change ownership or change mode or something? If you click on these ones, because it requires root access, I give you again documentation here. You can do read it and the example. So like change mode, I give you even the tables, read, write, execute, what is 7, what is a read w dash mean 6, all those execution permissions, all of them, umask, and how you convert it from octet to the other one, it's all there. So I'm teaching you also as a little bit more on the Linux side. So I told you on the PowerPoint slides that I'm going to be teaching you 4 things, and now I just introduce you to the operating system of Linux as well. And then in this case, when you're running these commands, let's go to the example that I told you that on chapter 5, you can run a shell scripting. Here, the shell script, I provide you the shell script. You can read the shell script syntax, all of that one. You can cut and paste it on your system, or you could run it, say, what is S10 equal 10? And yes, it runs it on my system. It gives you the output, say 10 is equal 10. If you do it 10 against 100 against 200, then it says 100 is smaller than 200. So you will get the output based on that. But if you say, for example, show me the command here that I can cut and paste it on my shell script, you can get the whole source code here. At the same time, like earlier I told you that you can type in the command and I'll give you the output. So pwd, print working directory. And uname -a, when I typed in the man page first, I type in uname -a. At some point, what I meant was uname. Uname -a is give you all the information here. So if you do ls -l, you will get that information. If you do like calendar, today's, let's run the date command first. The date command you see is Friday, October 18. That's October 18, Pacific Standard Time. Today was my regular day off. It's 5 p.m. I'm here to serve you. And then I'm just doing the calendar command here. You can see that the calendar is the month of October. And then I'm So you can do a lot of stuff. And then if you want to hack it, go ahead, hack it. You might just see that you cannot do it. So it's okay if you try it. If you feel you've found out a loophole, let me know. I have backup, but let's just do something here. So if I say rm store dot sh, let's say, or it will tell you whatever I write anything here that is not nonsense, that is not going to execute. So if I say ls minus ld minus ld and then a star wahid, something like that, then it says that command doesn't exist, that doesn't work, right? But if I say rm minus rf star dot cgi, and then it will just say that I cannot allow this command. If you say, okay, let's say echo, I'm going to try to create something, rm minus rf, and then send it to temp, and then s.bash, and then as you do that one, then so if you do this one, and then you say, now bash minus x temp s dot bash, and then just whatever you want, it will just tell you that you're not able to run that command. But I'm just trying to help you, so be nice to me back rather than just try to figure out a way that you could just find out a loophole. Every system, when people do it, and I bet you that a lot of companies, they don't provide these kind of things because they are afraid that somehow somebody is going to penetrate. I have done a lot of work, so since 2000, this has not been compromised. That is 24 years now, and I'm hoping that there's no monetization or anything for it. It's just basically I'm providing it to help students and developers to grow and then enhance their career. So if you are trying to hack something and you're a hacker and figure like, oh, I can do anything, let me know what you can do. Thank you. At this time, I'm gonna go back to the site. I showed you a lot of stuff for this. You're welcome to just go on the site and just watch these videos. I would say if you look at my popular videos, this video is about 4 hours 20 long. It's called From Zero to Hero. I teach you the entire Linux, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9. All the production of most companies are at Red Hat 8.10. And then I'm doing a little bit jump in front of everybody to teach you more. So if you are on Red Hat 8, it's good. And still Red Hat Enterprise 9 is also available already. And then same thing with Rocky Linux 9. I did that video and then a PDF. Solaris, for a long time I was Solaris certified since 2003. I know the Solaris very well. I know Linux very well. I know Red Hat, Rocky, Fedora, operating systems, databases. I was consultant, DBA, taught many courses at prestige universities, whether it's Pasadena City College, like Python courses. I taught 5 courses, and then C++, Unix, and then Bash scripting, MySQL, Oracle, at Cal State Fullerton. And then at National University, I taught compiler classes, operating systems, while I worked about 30 years of my life, or 32 years, at the prestige company. The last 22 years, I have been working, and I'm very honored and happy, blessed that I work for a Jet Propulsion Laboratory in NASA. And I have learned a lot, I have grown a lot. We have a lot of professional people there. I have learned and I have mentored a lot of people there as well. So I'm blessed, and I want to pass on the knowledge, hopefully, and by sharing and caring about you guys could just maybe pass on the knowledge to somebody else that is less privileged than you are. And so we're all exposed to something, and if you could contribute to somebody else and to make inspiration for somebody else to change their life for better, that would be the best thing and that you could achieve. So let's get that one. I'm going to quickly take a water break here, and then I'll be back in a few seconds. Okay, let's jump into our studio, and we're going to show you our studio next. This is the R studio that I'm going to show you. On the previous videos. I did a full course on R that was video 1 and 2, and then it's about 6 or 7 hours altogether. The last video was 4 point some hours, and that was video number 2. But this one is going to be 3 scripts, that is MySQL, connection to MySQL database, to the sys on MySQL, and then schema of info. So each one of them, I break it into small modules. That way it is more easier for you to follow up, and that way you can understand what I'm doing and learn from it. So first, let's get started with R MySQL. So on the previous packages, I comment this section that if you want to just install more than one module, whether it's R MySQL, and the DBI comes with R MySQL. Once you install R SQLite or R Oracle or R MySQL, DBI comes with it. The database interface would be one of these ones. But in order to use R MySQL, you need R MySQL package. In order to use R SQLite, you need R SQLite. In Oracle, you do the same thing. The last video, I showed you that if you want to just know the exact name of these ones, because our language is case sensitive, like Python, and then like Linux and Unix operating system. So the case matters, case is sensitive. Windows, on the other hand, is insensitive, meaning that you could write something in lowercase or uppercase in Windows command line or PowerShell, it is still understands it. So here I'm doing R, which is case sensitive. That means I have to write exactly like R MySQL here. So in order for me to install all of them, I use the C, which is a concatenation or collection. And this one's a collection of this is string, this is string, this is string. All of these modules are going to be installed using install.package. But if you want to do an individual package, like I did in this example, install.package here. And then install.package is the R studio command that you could type in here. You could also click on the package here, and then a list of packages that are here. Let's say here, for example, if you click on install, then this dialog box comes in. It says, okay, you're installing it from the CRAN, which is Comprehensive Archive Network. Which package do you want to do it? If I just want to say update it, I could update it by a particular package by just going here and click on update. Then this will be list of packages that are already installed. But in this case, I'm not updating. So let's say I go install by saying that go ahead install. Notice that as soon as I click on update, it's already tried to do our SQLite and other ones to match it. So as soon as you do this one, let me just clear this screen. I don't want you to just get confused with what's happening. So whatever on this last video I showed you, there's a source window, and then there's a console window that it has also terminal and background jobs and other ones. And there's these other two that are here. One is the packages and for plot and other ones, and the other one is also for environment. So each one of these window has a special needs for it. At this time, I'm going to show you, let's make it like in the center here. So on the package, when you click on install, it shows what package you want to install. So if I say R and then I say my, notice that when I type in MySQL, and then it says I have my SQL and my target something. But if I say, yeah, do exactly my SQL, then notice the syntax of it is the name is R is uppercase, my is M is uppercase, and SQL is standard core language or a structured core language is uppercase. So you could do that one, or you could say or Oracle. So you see, notice as soon as I say Aura, it will Oracle is already picked up. If I type in RO, then it's a list of them that is there. Now I say RO, ROR, and then it's gonna say those, and then I go more specific, it's gonna find it for me. Or MariaDB, for example, like right here, MariaDB, you could just search it and then install it. So a lot of them on DBI is the package that it comes with those other ones also. So some of the packages, as you type in, it's there, but you can also do this. So at this time, I have already installed it, but if you are on the MySQL, just to meet this video's requirement, I'm gonna even select the comment out and then say run this line. So it's gonna say this is the line, do you want to restart the prior install? If I just want to say go ahead reinstall it, it will do that one for the reinstall. At this time I say no, don't do it, because I have already installed it, already I have the package. So to have the package and you don't want to install it, reinstall it, it is not necessary to install it. That's why I commented out. But when you're doing it for the first time, you have to have this and then install it. But since I already did it, I'm going to comment it, and then I don't need it a second time. That's why I commented that one. And once you comment it, you save it, make sure your change takes effect. So like library is the next command here on line 10. And that one basically load the MySQL module. You can use the require command. So you can say pound, sorry, undo. Somehow when I did that one, it removed something. I meant to write here or use require and then the MySQL. You could do either library or just use require. Require is similar to library. Require is giving you a little bit more information saying the library was loaded. But library is silent, similar like typing pwd at the command on the Linux, it will print the working directory. But when you say some command like cd or something, if you don't get any output, that means the command is silent, meaning that either succeeded or generated an error. If generated an error, $ a question mark would be 1 or some other number. Otherwise, if it succeeded, $ question mark will have the value of 0. So in this case, library MySQL is already available here. I'm going to do run. Now you see that it loaded and it's silent. So it just said loaded. But if I just do this and then say, here you can also unload it with the detach command. And you can also go to the library MySQL here, and wherever the name of the database, you uncheck it. For example, let me just show you from the GUI here. You might be, like you see DBI is selected, and then if I go to MySQL, PQR, a little bit tough to find it here. Let me just see if we can undo, just search it here, MySQL, yeah. So it's much easier to find it, the studio. You don't have to go search it with your eyes, right? So now it's already there, And then the DBI was also checked. When I do this one, it runs the detach command, package or MySQL, and load is equal true. So this is just detached it. Similarly, DBI is already detached. Notice that DBI is there, and then if I just uncheck that one, that will also detach it. But at this time, since SQLite was using it, it just gave this information, cannot unload it. So that's okay. And just this is how you load it here back. Similarly, if I just say for the or MySQL, if I run this part of it, let me move this one here. And you can see on here, you can click on run and it says that, okay, on MySQL, when I did the require, which was this statement, it says loading required package. And so it gives some information here that this package was loaded and now our MySQL is available. So whether you use library or require, the only difference is required gives you this output here. The library or MySQL was silent. Now, the next thing that I'm going to show you is something called connecting a string. Whether you use Oracle or Informix or Sybase or MySQL or Microsoft Access, whenever you connect to a database instance on that picture that I showed you on that slide, you can see you can connect to a database that is local through the database or remote database. When you connect to that one, basically you're getting this connecting string. So once you do the library or MySQL DB connect is one of the function through DBI that is available. So DB connect is a function that takes a driver and then the name of the driver in this case is MySQL function. So MySQL function is the name of the driver, but then these fields have to have the right information. One of them was host, right? So let me just undo that. Somehow the change, as soon as you highlight it, it removes it. So host is localhost, a port number, and then user, and then password, and then DB name. So I need all of this in order to connect to the database instance or schema of world, and that one, which is inside the MySQL database. But the MySQL database has to be up and running and listening to port 3306 with this local host. And I had to have a grant access privilege for the user Wahid with the right password on the database already defined, but with the data definition language and data control language to allow me to just connect to that string. This connecting a string, once it is established, it will just say, I am connected to the world, and then we can get more parameter from it. So let's see first if MySQL database is running. Yes, it says it's running here. If I just stop it for a little bit, just to prove it to you that right now, this instance is down. So if I just go here on the command line and just say, okay, do a net stat minus an, and then find a string /I, and then I say 3306. That port number, which I did not find that because my SQL is down. So I'm not listening to that one, right? And if I just go say, go ahead here and connect it, it will fail. So notice if I say run, it will try, and then notice it's trying to connect. This stop comes in, eventually it comes in, say local drive, failed to connect to the instance, cannot connect to the system at localhost. So it says that I don't have an instance listening at this port number or with this database name or anything, right? So at this time, I got the error, okay? Let's correct the error by starting the database back. So when you start the database, say start the MySQL workbench, which is the database, now it says it's running. Now I'm gonna go back to the command line and then just up arrow here, and then now I see that I'm listening to that port 3306 on that instance. So now that means that if I come in here and just say, go to my SQL Workbench, type in my SQL Workbench 8.0, that's classical edition. You just stored it, and this is a database kind of MySQL Workbench is the instance that I'm connecting. You can connect to and my instance, or let's say on this one, I have to click here, but notice 3306, that's the one that I'm trying to connect. It's gonna ask me for a password here. And that password, I have to know it. It's demo db1234 5 bang bang. So I created that one, and let's just type in that one, demo db1234 5 bang bang. Let me try that one, and it's demo db1234 5 bang bang, and I'm connected there. So now I'm connected there. That means if I just say show databases, then I should be seeing one of the databases world that I'm trying to connect, which is this one, right? So in this instance, I'm already having all these databases, but on the MySQL on the Orlan Studio, I said that connect to this instance. So earlier we were getting this error. Now let's see if we still get that error or not. I'm going to move here a little bit up to right here, and then just say run. And now this time it connected. It connected without errors, right? So if I just run this other command, which is next to say list tables on that list, you could see that I have city, country, and country language. So that works. And then what do I am showing you? What I'm showing you here, I said show databases. I was there. Now say use a word. It's like saying that you want to use the Word database. And then if I say show tables, then at this time, if I run this one, it's going to show that city, country, language, similarly to what we were seeing on the R, city, country, language, because I said a DB list table, right? So it lists tables, and then here I said show tables. So now I'm going to look at the tables, and then the tables are city, country, and language. When you highlight one of these ones, automatically runs all these commands. And then the last one, it will stay on that last one. That's a MySQL Workbench. So here, I did that last one. Now I'm going to show you a query. So the query, in this case, is a select statement. Select ID, name, country code, district, population from city, order by name. So what I'm just passing on this query, which is having all these fields, and then order by name. So sorted by name. And I'm doing this one, selecting it, and then assigning it to a SQL statement. So when I run this statement, it's just going to run, and it's not going to just generate anything till I pass it on to a DB send query. When I send it to DB send query, I give the name of the connection that I did to that statement, to that database, and then run the SQL statement as an argument to that connecting string, and then put it into a record set. So at this time, the record set has the information, but I'm not doing anything with it yet. So let me just move this one up. And then at this time, as you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm putting a counter is equal 1, because I want to just, every time I plot it, I want to just do a different color based on the plot as it goes through the system. And then I want to just also do a system sleep time, 5 seconds in between. So you can see the data is populating from the database, and it's changing every time the record set comes in. So what I'm doing here with a while statement, a while statement goes through a loop. It says DB has completed, but I'm putting a bang in front of it, meaning that if it is not completed, meaning that there's a still record to read from the record set, and then fetch 10 records at a time here from the record set. So we give it to a query result and then print the query result on the left side, and then also on this other column, I could go on the plot and plot it here. So as I'm printing the paste command, I want to show number of rows and then how many rows were read and the query string, what it is. And if the count module 2, a remainder is not equal 0, then print it in this color, which is kind of greenish. And then if it is remainder is equal 1, meaning that it is odd numbers, then just do plot it in red color. So this is what that does. And then after this is done with all of the record, the clear result set, the record set, I have to clear it, as well as disconnect from the database. Otherwise, if you're not disconnecting from the database, next time you will come back to it, it will just be kind of like in a dangling state. So you make sure that you're reading records, open a cursor, and fetch the record, and once you're done with it, close it. So and close the database instance that you're connecting. So right here, at this time, I'm going to show you the while statement part of it. Actually, we did the count. Let's do the count here. Now count is equal 1. You can also get the output of this statement here, right? You can just say, for example, count what it is. You can always get output of those ones for record set. What is the record set pointing to? So that information, what is con underscore world? What is that one? And a type of con underscore world. And those ones you can get it as 4. But if you say class of it, for example, what is the class of it, you can see it's our MySQL package. And you could also say, for example, printed. Printed, you could see get that information that we say we're connecting to it. At this time, I'm going to run the while statement, and then I'm going to make this screen a little bit bigger for the plot, so you could see the plot nicer. If your plot size is small, it's not going to fit that thing, so it's going to complain, then you have to adjust it. So I'm going to say, go ahead on the while and run it. And then while it is doing that one, I need to just click, and then now you see the output is coming. And every 5 seconds, notice my graph is changing. And then the query string, every 10 elements on the bottom, it is changing as well. You can see that. And this is stop. If I want to just stop it after a while, that I say I don't have time to demonstrate the rest of them, I can pause it or stop it, and not pause it, stop it. So then I can run it. But notice this is a very good query, that it goes through this loop, and then it writes all the country and city and all that information that I did, select ID, country code, and district and population, and then plot them here. And then the color, everything changes nicely. So that's the first example of R connecting to a R MySQL database and reading it, a data manipulation language, data like doing a selected statement, and then data visualization part, which is this graphic part, and I'm plotting it for you as it goes. But in order to show you, you can see that the plot is basically changing colors and all the data, as well as every time changes, it happens. This line width is 3. Make it 3 or make it 5. It's gonna look a little bit bigger. So it's depend on your choice. You can do that one. The coloring, there's more parameter to plot. I just used what was necessary at this one. Okay. So at this one, I'm done with this example. You saw a good sequence of steps. I can just stop it because I don't have to do thousands of records forever, right? And then wait 5 seconds, that would be too long. So I'm gonna just say stop, and now I get my prompt back. And notice that when I get my prompt back, if I run, since I'm on this statement, I need to just clear my record set. And then it says now record set is clear, and then disconnect from the database instance, and then do that. So if I want to just do the same thing, and instead of saying select this one ID, and then all of that one, and this time I'm going to say limit, maybe just limit 20. I mean, actually 50, not too much. 20 would be just one type of color. Let's try a little bit, 10, 10, 5 times it runs, and then we just do limit by 50 records. So 10 of them would come in. So if I do this one, and then I need to source it from a very beginning, right? So if I just say, okay, on the plot, and just say yes, go ahead, refresh it. Okay, so at this time plot is empty. I'm going to just say source it this time. Let's see if the data output, everything works the way I should have done it. I'm not sure where I have debug db list award. So it dropped into a debug, which shouldn't drop it. I might have been on a different page, library MySQL. Let's do this one, and we say source. Okay, db list table. So, and I'm gonna do a stop here. I think it is another instance is running that was the queue was still showing. So let me just move it right here, clear the screen, and then here I'm gonna source it now from here. Okay, DB expression called list tables. Okay, when it doesn't work the way you want it to work, or and there's the drops you on debug because it is on the cache, on the debug level right now. Let me just do quit out of that one, stop, and then I'm gonna close it, and then I'm gonna start RStudio again. And this will just for sure is going to just refresh it. But this time, since I did the 50, I want to make sure that the order and limit by 50 columns, 50 rows, and the selected statement. Okay, where is it? No, I was on this one, or MySQL right here, or MySQL, and then limit 50. This is the one, so save it. And then I'm gonna bring this page here, plot is there. And then right here, we're gonna say, go ahead, load the library. I'm gonna just try the whole thing at one shot to see if now it is okay or not. So say run, loading DBI required package. So the DBI package somehow was not loaded. We could just try this one first. Now done, and then say run and run. So the DBI got loaded. Now we're doing the record, and everything is working as expected. So if the DBI was not loaded, we have to load the DBI also. And when I did the library or MySQL, it loaded the DBI there. And notice this time after 50, it should stop. Let's see, there's at least 3 times so far, or 4 times, and that's done. That's the 5th time. Now I have disconnected. Okay, so it's already done because I clicked on the source. And then if you just wanted a smaller chunk, like 2 of them, let's just do only 2, 20. one time green, one time red. So I'm gonna save it. This time I'm gonna come in on here and say run and run. Since we already disconnected, every time you go to the while statement, it's gonna just do the query. Now the first time, the next one is red in 5 seconds. Now after this one, it should be done. Because we only fetch, yeah, it's done. We only fetch 10 rows of twice, which is 2011 here. So that's another trick you can do to do the data set faster. And then here, I'm going to show you the R schema, which is another instance. So earlier I was connecting to the world database. Now I'm connecting to an information schema. So in each schema database that you're connecting, instance or schema that you're connecting on that profile, you have a different list of tables that are there. So as if I just show you on the MySQL workbench. So if you're coming here and say use, we did the show databases, and then say use information underscore schema. I think that's what the database is. And then now we're going to say show tables. So now under the information schema, the list of tables is a lot, right? And if you want to say, for example, on a given table, what is describe it or something, you could just say in the name of the day. Like a statistic is one of them. I could say describe statistics. And then here you could just run it, and then that would give you the description of a statistic table. So if there's a table called whatever table is, let's see, users. Maybe under the information schema, you could see a users is there. Okay. And then at this time we showed you this, but now I want to run this one through the R MySQL. So I'm going to do a library R MySQL is going to run this one, say, okay, yeah, I found it. And then as soon as you run this one, if it was loaded already, it just doesn't do anything. Information schema is the connecting a string in this case, and then the database information, all of that one is there. So I'm just connecting at this time. Now, if I want to do list tables, that list tables is going to give a larger list of tables. You can see here. There's views, and then there's DB, and there's tables, and so on, all of that. And then now I'm going to do suppress warning. Suppress warning is that if I don't do suppress warning on this one, notice that if I do DB send record set, this one is going to give me a warning. That warning is going to come, but it is going to allow to connect there. But in order to not see the warning, I just commented that line and I run it like this, right? So if I just want to run it without the warning, and without commented, and then run this one, notice I get a warning message. So in order for you to not get the warning, you can do something like this. Sorry. In order for you to not get the warning, you just do this suppress function and pass in the record set as DB send query inside it. And then this is I'm going to suppress the warning for you. So let's do that one, and we say suppress warning, and notice that error on DB send, because we did earlier that other statement, it actually it still says now pending something in the state there. So you can just do one, not both. So this time we are not going to do that one. We're going to just say, go ahead, do the while statement. And then the while statement runs, and then do a query string. Every time you do the query result comes in. And then right here, it is going to print 2 rows, and then fetch it and then print it, and then after that one is clear the result and done. So if I want to just do the whole thing again, let's say come here, and then since I don't want to do the comment, I want to do this one, I should not get an error. Like here, I could say, go ahead, do that one. You see, it works, and no error, everything, and then no warning, nothing, right? That's how you are doing it with that statement. The next thing I want to show you is our MySQL conword. I think I did the conword already. Let me see, database. Yeah, consys I haven't done. The sys is the one that I want to show you also. And so for sys, here are MySQL, we're going to connect to the sys database. If I come back here on the database and then say, instead of information schema, I say use sys module. Sys module, and then at this time, if I say show tables, you can see the list of tables are there. So I don't need to type in show database anymore because we know those names exist on that list. Sys and information schema and Word and DB and so on. So I could just start using it here. And now you can see that a list of tables for the sys modules a lot, right? One of the table that I'm interested here is called this one from user underscore summary. So if I say describe a user underscore summary, and then run this one, you will get a description of the user summary here. All the fields and then the primary key, foreign key relationships, all of them are right here listed. Okay. So at this time, I'm going to just do this statement, library run, and then run my connection. The connecting string connects it, and then this one, DB list tables or get info. This is the info, get DB get info. It basically says that you're connecting to localhost. The username is Wahid. The name of the database is sys, connecting through TCP/IP, and then all the information are there. MySQL Workbench version, and then thread number of them, and then user ID list. So if I just say, okay, that's great. Can you give me more? We did the DB list table. So DB list table will give you all the list of tables here. Like earlier, we got it, okay? DB list tables. Similarly, and then say, now go ahead, do the suppress, and then don't give me warning, and then go to the while statement. And then at this time, I'm getting the print. Since I'm not plotting it, I don't need to look at that one. So it print the 2 records or a number of records, one of them at the time fetch it, and all of the records that were there for that one, it is outputted. And then I say now, go ahead, clear the result. When you do clear result, it will clear it and then disconnect from that. So that covers our MySQL with MySQL database and using MySQL Workbench from there. I could also do MySQL from command line to connect that one, but that's not the topic of this session. The topic of this session is to do MySQL from Python using maybe Python itself or Visual Studio Code. Okay, so at this time, let's just use Visual Studio Code. And notice that I have the command prompt here open. I'm gonna go to a directory where my Python programs are. In this case, call cd to c colon, and then I want to go to c demo/programs/Python. So that's the directory I want. I have a number of Python script, but what I'm interested here is that say, okay, for the and files that are kind of called customer. Customer show me all the Python script and that I wrote for a customer. So the first one I could do run is create a customer and everything. But let's show you some programs with database first, how you create a database and so on. Directory store DB, and then you can see MySQL DB is one, MySQL DB2, MySQL DB3. But what am I doing on each one of them? Let's say if I want to say MySQL create table, I want to just open it on Microsoft, command line right here without running code or anything. I could do this, and then that would be inside here. You can see that I wrote this one, and it is nice enough to display you the output there, but I could also open it on Visual Studio Code if you like to just show you. This is basically, let's just do this, and instead of typing more here, you just type in code here. Code, meaning that open it in IDE, MySQL code. And then right here, you can see I'm connecting to MySQL using Visual Studio Code, and then this is connecting MySQL.connector as connector. So previously, I had to use pip install MySQL connector-python. Once that module is installed, then I can go use import MySQL.connector as connector. Now that connector that I'm using here, this connector allows me to use these functions. These are the dot operator, which is object-oriented part of Python. So connector dot and then connect method, it will allow me to connect. In this case, I'm just using a connect without any argument. Another way you could do is connector.connect, host name, localhost, port number, and then the username and the password. Notice the password, I had to use my SQL native password in order to make sure the password is understood with this hash key or this password at the time that I want to pass it on. At this time, I create my cursor. My cursor is getting connected using the cursor function. A cursor is kind of like a handle to the database. Like similarly to when you open a file, you put a file handle, or similarly to do anything else on a database, you are connecting a string to that instance. So when I connect to this connecting a string that I call it DB word, I have to open a cursor so I can read and write into that cursor, and until all the records are fetched into it, I can just do query on it, and then I can manipulate those data. But then at the time when I'm done, I close the cursor. So you open a cursor, you fetch the data, and then you close it. That's what this is. And then here, my cursor.execute. Execute is another method that with the dot operator in Python. You could say my cursor.execute, and then you put any SQL statement. In this case, I used create database if not exist, my demo DB. If it does exist, it doesn't do anything with it. That's the nice thing about this if statement. Earlier, I told you that it's a structured query language because a lot of them, they have a structure saying that, well, if it does exist, that condition will be saying that it is false, that table exists. If it doesn't exist, then maybe it will create it. That's what that if statement is all about. And then show database, it's going to show the database and then run the database instance information. Now, for this field for DB and my cursor, I want to say the database name is this and this and that. Once I'm done with it, then I close my cursor and close my DB word. So if I just say run this one, it basically inside Visual Studio Code, it ran it and then it gave me the output here. So this is like Python -u create underscore db.py, and it gave me a list of the databases because my demo DB existed. It just says, yeah, it already exists. all I have to do is run the show tables, and then I'll show databases, and I'll list them with the cursor, and then close it. Similarly, if I want to just go to the command line, and instead of this code, I could say run it here with Python. Then as soon as I run it, I get the output of that one. So whether you have a command line interface or a Visual Studio IDE interface or R Studio, it's your choice. You're still connecting to the connecting stream to get it. You're still querying a structured query language. And if your table is normalized, it's even better because data storage, data retrieval, everything is faster, and performance, integrity of the data is good, consistent, and see, everything is okay. So now I showed you the create the database. We could also do other things with that database. So let's say directory store db.py. So notice that I have a drop MySQL drop database. Let's drop it first and see what does MySQL drop do. So I basically say more MySQL drop underscore db.py. You can see that this one is say drop database my demo DB. So if I just drop it, and whatever is on that table, demo DB will also be dropped. You have to be careful whenever you are doing data definition language, defining the database or creating a table or creating a database or creating a table or an account. When you're dropping them, you might just drop something by accident that you didn't mean to. If you drop the entire database, obviously all the tables that were there will be dropped with it. Make sure you have a backup, make sure you have snapshots of them, make sure you have concurrency, redundancy of the database being replicated somewhere else. So if you're looking at a bank, you make a transaction which is autonomous or atomic, that meaning that the transaction is either committed all the way or rolled back. So that means it's atomic. What does that mean is that you made a transaction for taking $10 out of your bank or inserting, adding $1,000 in your bank. Now, your employee might be in New York and you just made the transaction in California, but the database that somehow was not replicated now through Bank of America or Chase or something, that the employee that went to withdraw the money, this is not enough money. That means that the data is not populated. But a transaction, maybe a database of the instance, there was a earthquake on California, your data is already, like your database had to shut down and then the transaction was not committed. Now you have to roll over to the previous instance, that snapshot, we call it a snap and point. At that time, you just do roll back and then say, okay, these are the transactions should have been committed. These are the one that's not connected. All of that one is done within the distributed database, and all of what the deviation that done, what the system database are there. There's a lot going on there. So, and in nanosecond, you could have a database that are not populated properly, or somehow the record are not done because of a network issue or a database issue or an operating system issue. So a lot of those ones, since transaction is atomic, that means if you have to go to the DB writer or log writer or system writer to make sure that the transactions are roll back or roll forward, then you have to commit it. And based on the actual paperwork, you can correct it. But a lot of these things, or when they're done in synchronization through banks system, through major companies, they're done in replication through thousands of different networking that are far away from each other, whether they're in one state or versus another state. Sometimes look at the stock market, how they get populated in nanosecond. So let's go back to this example of dropping it, right? So I did this one. If I just open the same statement with code, this just opens another tab on the code, and it says the MySQL drop. So the MySQL drop, let's look at this statement. It just says drop the database and then show the databases. That's a nice way to just look at it. So it is going to run and then says, okay, and after my DB demo was dropped, notice when I run it, my demo DB was dropped, and then the list now does not have it when I do show databases. So similarly, I can look at it workbench. If I want to see it on workbench, it should be consistent, right? Since I dropped it, if I say here, show data basis, and then I just run it here, and then now notice that the database, my demo DB is not there anymore, right? Demo DB is there, but my demo DB is not. So if I just run it from command line, and then I just say this one, say Python, and then it's saying that my demo DB is not there. But now what I want to do is that create it again, because I want to just do something with my demo DB. So in order for me to do that on my demo DB, on my code, Visual Studio Code, I could show you on the Visual Studio Code first. I could just click here, and then this is my code for the creating it. So this one says create database if not exists. So I run that one. And then once I run that one, it just give me an output here. Sorry. And then the output is already showing that my demo DB got created here. Similarly, if I just do that one from command lines, clear my screen here. Actually, not clear my screen. I'm gonna just do my create table right there. Notice here my demo DB is not there, but since I already did it with the Visual Studio Code, it's going to run and give me the same information, my demo DB that just got created. Because I said if not exist, created. Since it already existed, if I run it 10,000 times here, it's gonna just check, say that was already there. I'm not going to do anything. Similarly, if I do it on Visual Studio Code, it's going to do the same thing, right? So every time you click on here, it runs and it gives you a new output, and it's going to basically say, yes, this is there. I did not have to create it because you put a nice check to there, say, if not exist, then create, okay? But if you just remove this one and try to run it, like let's say I go here on the this statement, let me just comment this line out quickly. And then I'm gonna just say, remove this line. I don't do this check. Notice this is gonna fail. So if I do write this one, save it. And then now I saved it. If I run it, it's gonna say, hey, yeah, actually that table already exists. You see, it failed. It failed, and then therefore it says that table already exists, database exists right here, right? The not table, database, because I'm creating a database. So database already exists, meaning that it's already there. So if I just go say, yeah, you're right, I should have checked for it. If it exists, don't do it. And then I could just put that line back here, and then delete this line, and then just say save it, and then now run it. This time it's gonna just give me a nice output saying that, okay, the table, the databases are here. And notice this time is no error. And then the database is the one that I wanted to check is that, okay? So when you make a change here, you could do it on the command line also. That was for creating a database and dropping a database. Since I have a database there, but it is empty. So if I say on the MySQL workbench, and say show databases, and now we say what was the name of the database? We say use my demo DB, and then say show tables. So I should say there's no table, right? When I run it at this time, I have no table. And then that's why it says show tables not there, right? So at this time, I'm going to say, well, let's create a couple of table there. In order to do that one, let's do something with clear screen, directory start with customer. So I'm going to show you everything that I have for customer table. So there's one called create customer table, and there's delete customer table, there's insert customer, update, and drop customer. At this time, and there's alter also. So the reason I put those alter and other ones to show you multiple query, how you alter a table that already exists that is not normalized or doesn't have a primary key, foreign key. There's insertion anomaly or deletion anomaly. I just created those ones, so that's why I'm showing you this. Notice that if I just say more create underscore customers dot py, this one is basically trying to connect to the database of my DB. Then it says that, okay, create table if not exist customers, but only two field. Name is a word character 30, and then address. It does not have any customer ID or any unique key to make that record like unique into the database. So there would be a name for me, Wahid, and that my address. I could insert that record 10 times, it would be 10 records there duplicate. 1,000 times, 1,000 duplicate. When I delete it, if I don't say a limit, I could delete all of them in one shot. So that's insertion, update, anomalies. All of those ones are there because the table is not normalized. Redundancies are there, duplications are there, and there's no foreign key, primary key, there's no linkage between the table with other tables. So a lot of issues, right? So by doing this one, if I just say, okay, go ahead and do this one in code, open it, and notice now I have it open in code. I'm gonna just have this one. And right here, after connecting to the instance of my DB database, I say, show me the tables first. And then for each table, I show the list of tables. Then I say, okay, now create the table customers with these two fields. And then after you create it, run the cursor, and then fetch the cursor, and then show the tables again, and describe customers after you're done, then close it. So if I run this one, you can see that it gave me an output of this saying that, okay, I just created the table customers, and then customers should be somewhere here. Let's see, yeah, it's right here. And I'm describing the customers. So since I did the describe at the end, it says just describe customers as this is how it is. So now if I go to my SQL Workbench right here and say and describe customers, and since now the show tables is not going to fail because the table exists, and then show, oh, tables, I must have typed is show tables. Use my demo DB. Is it my demo DB? My demo DB, yes. So let's say on this one, if I just go here again and say use those ones, then why show tables is not coming. Let me show tables. Describe tables. Okay, yeah, now it works. And then customer is there because it did not exist there. But if now I say show tables and then run that one, and then it is not for some reason show tables. use my demo DB show tables. Sure. Okay. I'm gonna close with my SQL Workbench and be connected to it. It should show tables when we do the show tables. So right now I'm connecting with the password. I type the password. Let me just check what it was, the password. The password is on right here on Visual Studio Code. Demo, not my demo. Demo DB12345 bank. That's a long password. Usually people try like 1 or 2 characters because I want to use it consistency and I want to make sure that whatever I teach you guys, you understand. So let's see, use tables. And right here on the Python script, when we say show tables, this show tables is exactly what I have on there. But let's see if that is going to show right now. So on this one, on Workbench, again, run the use my DB table, and then show tables is not showing. Let me just paste it like this. Yeah, it doesn't matter the thing. Somehow it is not seeing it. So I want to say use my, maybe the database did not existed at the time, demo DB, and then say show tables. Yeah, that was why the database at the time didn't existed and somehow now exists. It does show now. So that's sometimes like you have to refresh it, and that's why what I did. Okay, so we do see that one. Now notice if I say describe customers, then and this one is describe customers as customers. And then when you run this one, and then the describe and did not work in this case, because maybe it is not seeing it yet. And so sometimes, yeah, now it shows up. So I stopped it and then run it and then it just shows up. And then it's a kind of like MySQL Workbench itself that you have to click on a different buttons and the GUI sometimes it's a little bit tedious in opposed to command line. So command line or Python or R language, you can figure out why it's not showing up because you're typing it correctly. But on the icons, if it doesn't show, if there's no other icon, then it's a tough thing. So create tables now. We created this one and it shows the table and the fish record is there. So now we want to do an insert into the table. Okay, so let's clear the screen here, directly insert. And then now I'm going to say insert underscore customers dot pipe. Notice that when I'm doing insert Wahid at 555 Pieces Street and the City of Hope and Wishes and somewhere on Earth. So this is a very nice hope and wishes that I'm looking like everywhere is peace. Unfortunately, peace is very hard to obtain nowadays because a lot of peoples are very kind of like in a very, very sad or kind of hard way, changing everybody else's life for their own ego or their own kind of territory, which is wrong and is causing a lot of problems. So peace is always the best. War is the worst. So here we are looking for Wahid at this address. And then I'm going to just say, okay, go ahead and insert it. This time I'm going to say, just run it with Python. And then if I just did that one, now if I just go to my SQL Workbench and say, select the star from customers. So if I run that statement, I should be getting like whatever number of tables, or whatever number of records that are there, right? So let's see, select star from customers, show tables. I don't need to show tables every time. And now, see, it took a while before it runs. So now it's running this one. And then at the same time, if I do it on the Visual Studio Code, so if I just go up here and then run this one on Windows command line with Python a second time, now I go back to the query. How many I should get? Yes, you guessed it right. 2 of them, right? And because I run that statement twice. So if I just say, well, that's good. If I just do this one a third time, now my query keeps changing. And then the workbench keep giving me 3 rows. But notice that the records are redundant. Duplicate informations are being inserted without any constraint from the table saying that, hey, Wahid, you're inserting 3 rows of the same thing. And if somebody is doing it programmatically, then he or she could just go in a while statement and do this one 1,000 times, right? So if I just open the same thing within Python, insert customer.py. So let's say, and instead of this one, I could say, go ahead, run the code. I could even do a for statement within Windows or anything, PowerShell, everything. So you could do that one, but at this time, I'm going to just do this insert the statement one more time from this table to insert the same record, and I just do that one. Notice that it just does this information a fourth time. Now I have 4 of them. But if I just want to say, well, how about on the Visual Studio Code, I could do this one for 10 times. So, right? So I could say, for example, let's say for num in range of let's say 100 times. That's too many, right? I could do 1,000,000 times. It doesn't matter. I could say do this one and then move this cursor right here, and then move this one under it, under that. So if I want to do it 100 times, that's a lot. Let's see if I could do that one and then db commit. Okay, so I'm gonna say escape shift colon W, and then go ahead run it. And now I run that one. And then let's see if on the workbench we got this information populated more times. Yes. See that I just did 100 times. And then that is a lot of this. If I say select the star of this one, and if I just say count star, and then from customers, and then I see how many records were there. I believe I had 4 already, or 5 of them, plus 100 is 104. Yeah. So now if I want to just delete from it, I just have to do limit by something or delete something. So now let's say I go here, say delete from customers, limit 50 of them, 54 of them, let's say. I want only 50 record after that one to show. So if I just run this statement and then run the next one, it shows now 50 of them. So you could do this one, but notice this is bad, because if I just delete another um, 45 of them. So only 5 is the left. If I just run this one, and then it's only 5 left now here. So now if I just say, don't do the count, show me the actual record, and just say this, and it's gonna just give me 5 of them. Because I actually deleted this one, so it's nothing there. Now let's just do that MySQL Workbench here when we did. I'm sorry, not MySQL Workbench. The one that I did with the for statement of 100. I want to just only add 5 of them. So 5 of them in one shot. I could say do 5. It's getting darker. It's hard for me to see my keyboard. Let me pause this one for a second, and I'll just turn on the light, and I'll come back and do it. Okay, so now I want to run it within 5 times, right? So let me see the for statement one more time, where I put, 5 times. So I want to run this one, and now I inserted 5 records here, and then it says that table name is customer, because I wanted to fetch it, and all I wanted to say is the table name. But now if I want to just say, go ahead, show me on the database here. If I want to say, go ahead, show me here, and then I want to just delete this one. I only want to say what I have here. It should be 5 records, right? And then these are 5 records. But because they are duplicate, I can update it. But the problem is that if I update it, one of them, I don't have any kind of where clause saying that where this is only true about it. So every update that I do, it's an insertion update anomalies is there, like deletion. So if I say update customers, the name of the table is customers, name, set name is equal Wahidullah, my full name, then I could just run that one. Now it will just change everything to Wahidullah. So now if I say, go ahead, select a store from customers, and then I just want to run that one, and then comment this line because I already updated, and the name is already there, so it doesn't matter if you just do it again. Now notice this information is still saying Wahid, but if I just do after this one and say a commit, and then run this query, somehow commit. Okay, so let's see if the commit is giving that error. Now it is committed. It took a while to do it. Now the selected statement is taking a while before it runs it. Let's see, now we say select. It should update it soon. It's just taking a little bit time for it to come in with that update. Okay, so I'm going to just run the query not inside SQL, because this sometimes is a lagging with the timing, how you run it, and then it should produce the output the way I should do this one. However, this comes in eventually when the database is not as busy, it does it. So let me just say, now we have updated those 5 tables. Let's see what is showing with the selected statement. So I do have a selected statement to show you here. So let me just do clear screen directory, select and star. Directory select star. Clear screen directory store select. No, must be something else. Clear screen directory store customer. So customer, I have insert, I have create, and I have update. So the way you do quickly, instead of the insert, I will do a select statement. Let's do copy, insert customers dot py, and we change it to select underscore customers dot py. So since that code is already there, I could say code select customers and .py. I just wrote that quickly, but I have to change some of stuff. This is how easy you could write these kind of templates. Now, all I have to do is change this one to a select statement. All these other information that pertain to it is the okay. The database is there. And instead of the show tables, this time I'm going to say select a star from customers. And then right there, and then that would be, you don't have to put the semicolon, it's okay. For table and this one, table name is, at this time, I'm just saying the record name is. So for record, um, for record, for record, the the rows are, so the row is, for each row, I'm going to just show the row. And then instead of saying table, in this case, I'll say row, and then I change this one to value of row to show the row. And then this one is, I don't need to do the insert. This statement is already done. Okay, that was one right here, select star from customer, and then right here, print it, and then fetch it. And so the cursor actually, okay, one quick thing. I have to make sure the variables that I'm using is correct. So I said, go ahead, select the star from this one to my cursor, and let me undo what I just did there, okay? So I'm going to just now do the cursor select statement here. And I'm going to not print this statement. And then right here, I'm going to do a cursor, my cursor dot execute. And then right here, I'm going to say insert this, select the statement. Select star from customers. And then that's good enough. And then I will just move this one to this other column. That way I could just have it db commit, and then my cursor, not query. So now my cursor, and then fetch all, and now we are getting each row as a result set, and then close it. So I'm going to just say save it, and then this one should do the select customer, which we didn't have. Now I'm going to run that one. Let's close these other ones. I don't need it. Create it, and then insert. I don't need it anymore. Select customers is the one that I need. Drop. I don't need it. MySQL create. I don't need it. So this is the one that for select statement. I'm going to run that, and then let's see the output of that one. 100 result found. 100 result. So why is it 100 result? DB commit line 77. Okay, 100 result found. Let me just run the same one from the Python here. See what we get. Python and 100 result found, same thing. But notice that here when I'm doing it, somehow some of those fields I'm not doing exactly line 17. So let's see what's, when I made the change, I did not correct it one port on line 17. What's on line 17? So we go here and then line 17 is db commit. Okay, so we didn't need to do the db commit here and save result and select the store from this. And then for record, close right here, we could say fetch it and then let's do this. And there you go, it is done. We didn't need to commit it at that level. So right here, that record is done. If I run the same one from the command line, I should run the out, get the output. No matter how many times you run it, you get the select of those tables are there. But notice that the update port is not done. So the name is still Wahid, right? So if I say, because when I say where name is Wahid, I might have just put only name Wahid with lowercase or something W. But let's do the update here again. Now I'm gonna say more update underscore customers dot five. Okay, so what is it? Say db commit. Yeah, db commit is not there. What we had also delete the statement rather than update. So and then ID is equal for, this is later on that I did that one for another statement. So since I did the update here, let's just correct, copy another one. From here, I'm going to just write a quick one here for this purpose also. So clear screen and say the one that I just did here, directory /o:\d. To see the last one that you modified is this one. So the directory /o:\d in descending order, it shows you that's your friend for the output. So I say copy select underscore customer customers.type, and I'm gonna say my update, just quickly, my update customers and .py, just in case if I have another update statement, I don't want to just enter miss that one. So now I did my update customers here, and then I say code my update underscore customers dot py, and then that one comes in. Now I just go back here, say, okay, great, I found out the code. I want to say select into. I'm going to say and select into. I just should have said select. So here I say my update table, and then the update table right here where I say select a star from it, I could say update customers, update table customers, and then I say set name is equal Wahidullah. I think I missed the word, the keyword table on the other ones. That's why it might have missed it. So in this case, since I use double quote, I'm going to use single quote here for the string name, Wahidullah, and then single quote, and then I could say update table customer set name is equal Wahidullah, where name is equal Wahid. I didn't do that part, the where clause. So that where clause now is checking to say that if the name is Wahid, change it to Wahidullah. And then it's going to be update anomalies because all records are going to match. There's no other key that I say, and maybe address is that. So all of them, since it has duplicate record, no matter how I try to do it, it's going to just update only those two fields. And so each field that I choose, it's going to be a problem. Now, if I say, go ahead, do this one. Oops, what did I do? Okay, that's fine. I think I just have it on the second column. And so I'm gonna run this one. Now, this one, it failed. MySQL exception at line 1, table customers, and name this one, where name is this one, line 1. MySQL syntax to near the user table. So let's say update table, update tables, update customers. So I think that you don't need to say update table. This one is insert into tables and then select from table, update table, update customers is good enough. Set name as equal Wahidullah, where the name is equal Wahid. That might do it. Let me just make sure that it is not formatting issue. Sometimes formatting with next column is a problem. No, it is. It was that there was no table needed. So earlier when I said I might have needed table, even though it's this standard core language is have a structure. Sometimes you say create table name, but update you don't put the table name. You say update customer. So that's one kind of inconsistency. I thought that was weird. So let's say we did that one. Now, if I just go back here and then do my code for the other one, which was doing a selected statement. Not this. The selected statement is still retrieving the record based on previous record. Why is it not there? Maybe it's because the DB commit is not there. So let me just go on the Visual Studio Code here, and not Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code. So on Visual Studio Code, I'm going to do a DB commit here, customers Wahidullah, and then update, and then I'm gonna do a my cursor.commit. Yeah, there's no my cursor.commit, but there's DB commit. You're connecting to the database instance. So let's see if this one is going to take effect this time. Okay, so it run and exited with the status. So let's see if it took effect or not. Let me just run it, this other script that I was doing here with the selected statement. Yeah, you see that it changed it because of the db.commit, it committed. So if I just change that one again to something else, I could obviously get it to the name change. But this is update anomaly. So if I just do this one, update customer set name equal, let's say set name equal Hamid, Hamidullah, where name is equal Wahidullah. Now I can do it within this select statement here, where name is this, and then run this one. And so this one is doing the work, and so this one already did the work, I believe. And then what I could do is say run this output, which is a faster way to see it. It is not done the commitment. So maybe I have to do a commit in the MySQL workbench right here. Let's do a commit. The commit should be one of these fields here. Execute a statement under the keyword. And what is this one? Toggle it. Yeah. So commit. Okay, I'm going to just do it from the Python script right here. Python is code. So I'm going to come here and say, let's do the update here. I'm going to say set name. I'm going to say name is equal Hamidullah, where name is equal Wahidullah. So the name is already Wahidullah there. I'm going to change it to Hamidullah. Let's see. And just did that one, succeeded. Now I'm going to go here and run it. It is changed. So you can see how it is changed here. And now if I want to just change it to something else, obviously I could do that. So that is way of connecting it. But notice the problem is that it has insertion anomalies and update anomalies. So if I want to run my insertion, my insert statement earlier that I did here, insert it to customer. If I want to do this one, since it's doing Wahid, now I have one record for Wahid. If I just do check it, now I have one record. I mean, 5 of them because I updated within the for statement earlier. So now I have a duplicate record for each of these users. And if I want to delete it, obviously I can delete some record, but the problem is an insertion anomaly, deletion, everything is a problem. So now let's just do a delete from the table where name is equal Hamidullah, right? So if I just want to delete the record here, I could do that one, but I want to do it through Python. So the code is already open. All I have to do is say delete from table, delete from customer. So instead of update, you just say delete from customer where name is equal Hamidullah. Since I want to do remove where name is Hamidullah, that one is there, but I want to just say limit let's say limit 3. I want to keep 2 records. It's still some duplicate, but I want to remove only the 3 of them. Okay, so delete from customers where name is equal given name and then limit by 3. So there's 5 of records, and now I should have 2 of them after this statement. And let's just say and save it, and then now I'm going to run it and go back to the query here, and then now I just run it and say show me the output, 2 records for Hamid. Similarly for Wahid, if I want to delete 4 of them and only keep 1 record, and then let's see if I just say where name is equal Wahid. Wahid, and then I want to delete 4 of them, 3 of them, and instead of 3, I'm going to do 4 here. and then just save that one, and then run it. Now if I run back again here, since that executed, now I should have two records for Hamidullah and one record for Wahid. And so the selected statement is consistent, two records for Hamidullah, one record for Wahid. So that is good. But however, there's insertion anomaly, deletion, and update there. So we showed you that the record is getting deleted. However, if you have millions of records, now your data is really, really slow, the performance and everything. In order to do this one, that means the DBA or the person who created the database forgot to just add the normalization or primary key foreign key relationship. So what we do this one, and now I'm going to show you the alter statement. So directory alter, and then I'm going to open this alter customers. That's the table that we want. Say more alter underscore customers dot py, and notice that when I'm doing alter table, customer add a column, add a field. In this case, ID is the data type is integer, and then auto increment primary key after name, after which field I want to add it. In this case, the field name is there, then the address. So I could say before name if I want to do that one. It's your choice. However you want. I should have done before name, ID, and then name, and so on. But it doesn't matter. It's just one field there. When you do index them and then have a primary key foreign key relationship, that's when you have consistency in your database and all that record. So if I just open this one with code, and then just say, okay, now I have it in open in code, and I want to run this one, say, what does this do? This one is basically just altering the database, the table. Alter table customer, and then adding a column here. And then once it does, it's going to just show me some information here. So I did that one. Let me just say, okay. The first time when you run it, it did it, but then I ran it the second time, that was already, the address and phone numbers were already there. So it is basically an issue if you run the second one without just saying if the column does not exist, if it is exists. I did not check for that one. So let me just show you on SQL bench, say describe customers, and then delete everything from the first one here, and then run this describe customers, and then that one says, and that ID was that one. And then if I want to drop this column, the second time I run the same code, it will just do it. So instead of add, I could do drop, right? So that one is by dropping the column there. And I don't need to say from this one or after this one. And notice that since I said after name, ID came out after. So if I go back on my Python, Visual Studio Code here, and look at this one, say alter table customer add, and instead of add, I say just change this one to drop ID, and then I don't need to do the auto increment or all of that because it's already defined. So I'm going to comment this line out and then change the drop back to add, so I can just redo it to show you. So drop ID, I don't need auto increment or after or anything. I'm just going to drop that column. You could put the word column also, but it's not required. So I do this one now. I say, go ahead and do it, save it, and now I run it. And then when I did it did drop that column. So now if I go back to my SQL Workbench right here, and I just run the same one, notice that the ID was there after the name. Now if I just run this one again, ID is no longer there, right there. we removed it. So now if I just say, okay, this time I'm going to add it back so we can have the auto increment option for as a primary key. All I have to do is what I did the change here, I could say uncomment this one and then comment this line out because I don't need to drop it. But that code could be available for you so you understand what I did here. I'm not going to completely delete it. So and now I say, go ahead, create it, and now it will do that one, and then this output is going to show me that I just did it. And if I go to Visual Studio Code, you can see if I run this one now, and this one is added again after name. Because I did not change it before. But if I want it before, that means I have to go again here. Let's just do that one. Comment this line out. Comment this line out. And then add this column here. And then just remove this one. Now we're adding it. And then dropping it first. And say drop it. And run it. Now dropped it. And then now let's see the MySQL Workbench and then run this command again. Now it's dropped, but this time instead of after name, I wanted to run it before name. So all you have to do is then comment this line, and then just instead of before, after, you just type in before. Notice that I write the SQL statement in uppercase, the name of the tables in lowercase. It is case sensitivity is a matter or doesn't matter. You have to be consistent in the way you program, so you're much easier to search for them later on and there, right? So now I'm doing it before a name, and then now I just insert it. Let's see if it didn't or not. Before key before name. Somehow it did not understand it. I think it was because of this line. It's formatting before name. Before name at line. MySQL line syntax error, check the manual page. So before is somehow not understood. Primary key after is understood, but before. Maybe it is this column. Let me just delete this line out and then just change this one to before, BEFORE. And then I have it like that. And I'm going to run it. Yeah, so the before is not understood here. Let me just say after, see if the typo is the word before, or maybe before is still. No, that was the correct still after name. Yeah, and the after is working, whether before is working or not, and not understand why. So if it doesn't work like this, you could just look for the MySQL, say MySQL alter table, add column. You see that after is there. Let's see if it's before. Before is not there. So that's why. And then after, so you have one after. As soon as you have another field, you could add it on the second column. That's what that means. Okay, it's not that important. Crucial stuff, right? Trivial stuff. versus crucial stuff. Okay, so we did that one. Now we inserted. Let me just see what else I need to show you on this one. We alter the table. Now we are going to insert some more records there. Okay, so where's my insert the statement? Clear screen directory insert, and I'm gonna run Python insert underscore customer, Python insert underscore customers dot py. Notice that when I'm inserting no such file or directory, I must have typed something wrong. Clear screen directory insert Python insert tab, and then that would work. So now I insert it. Now I'm going to say, go ahead, give me the select statement to see what I have here right there. You can see that I added this, but since I have a field called auto increment, notice for each field that I added, it has a value of auto increment, and the first two for Hamid Abdullah is 1, 2, and then the record for me is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next time I run the insert statement, it's gonna add another 5 or something. So now I have more record with that, but they are all unique. Why is it unique? Because the customer ID is identified with auto increment, automatically makes a record different. So now if I say on the select statement or updating statement or delete, I could just go back on the delete. I could say and delete from customers where name is equal Wahid, and ID is equal 4. So that one is only going to delete one row, which is row number 4. Now it deleted it, and let's see if we run the same statement. This 4 for Wahid should be gone this time. So if I say select from this one, now 4 is gone. See, 3, 5 is done. And if I just do the same thing where name and 5, 6, 7 or something, I could just match those ones, the N clause, or name like Wahid. So if I just say name like Wahid and then ID is greater than 6, then I will only have 3 and 5. So let's do that one. Right where on the selected statement, we could say where name like Wahid, I mean, we could say like percentage Wahid something percentage, that would match everything. That is start with what WA. Followed anything that would do it. But if I say where name is equal Wahid, I want specifically Wahid. And then ID greater than 4 or 5. And so it has to be 3 and 5 will be there, but the rest of them will be gone. So if I just do that one, say, show me that, now I run that one, and then I go run this command, and it's there. 3 and 5 is there, everything else is gone. So similarly, if I want to delete a record where name like Hamid, then you could just say like HA, and then that would not match this one, and then only want to delete record number 2, you could do that one. All right. So and select the statement whether you use Python or this. I could say where name is equal HA, and then like, and then ID is equal to, and that would just delete one row. Now I run the same statement here. You can see that it's Amit with record 1, but Wahid with 2 of them. And then if I just want to delete everything with Wahid, I could do that one, right? So let's see if I just have a delete statement here. Now that it's going to have the record that is everything there with delete statement. Directory start delete. So delete customers. This is, I think, let's see what is this one do. Code delete underscore customers. Am I deleting more than one record or just dropping the table or some print each table? Search is done. Okay, delete from customer where name is Wahid. So this one is now deleting all rows from Wahid. That we could do that one also. Now we say do that one, and now it is done. So let's see on the statement here with select statement, and you see that Wahid record this information. Now if I say insert Wahid again, since Amidullah it has one record, I could say insert customers. Now I just fetched 5 of them because of my insert the statement had 5 of them. So now I have starting the next auto increment. Even though the other one were deleted, now the auto increment is started from 14 because the next number that was available at the time. Okay. So this is like how you could do the stuff. Let's check on another table. Let me see what other things I have for the customers. Alter customers, I think we did that one. Update, select, update customers, drop customers. We already did that drop customers. If we have to drop it, we just run that drop underscore customers.py. And that basically says drop table if exist customers. And if I just run that one, customers will be gone. And then notice that all the records that are there, Python and drop customers, now table customers is dropped. After dropping customers, there's no table on this one because we only had one customer table. Now, if I do a select statement, it's not going to do anything because there's no such thing as that one, as that table, right? So the best thing to do is run the Python create customers, create customers. And now I just did it. Now, if I run the select statement again, the records are there or not, and that depends on the MyDB and then customers. Let me check on the create table. Oh, there's yeah, creating table, but we didn't insert, so we have to insert first, and then insert and to Python. Now we go select, and we have those records. But again, since we didn't alter it, it is having duplicate records there, right? So in order to get rid of that one, remember the alter, and so I'm going to say Python alter underscore customers, and now we have altered it. And now if we do a select, those one auto incremented by this, now we have a primary key there. And if we do a describe on it using MySQL Workbench to say, go ahead and describe customers, and then you can see that that is having a primary key ID as not null, and then primary key and all that information. So if you just look at this one, it is a primary key auto increment and default one. And then if you say, go ahead, select and start from that one, customers, since I have 5 records, it will show there. You can also do count of 5, and then you could just get the list of them as 5 of them. But remember that without the auto increment, if the records are duplicate, then it would be a problem. So if I just do one more time to just show you another thing that you should know on database. So if I just say, go ahead, drop it. Let me see, drop customer table. Now dropped it. Now I'm going to say create it, create table. Let me see. One of them is create table. Okay. Create table. As soon as I wanted to give up on it, it come up. So now you can create it, and now I'm going to do insert it, and then since it has anomalies, if I do a select on it, notice this one has anomalies, right? So at this time, if I just have anomalies and this information is there, notice that if I do change my select statement on my SQL workbench and I say select distinct, and this is going to give you one unique record, distinct star. So even though there's 5 duplicate records, if I just put the word distinct, it's gonna say only one. But if I remove the distinct, because it is anomalies and then insertion and update and all that thing already happened, there's duplicate records. So, and you cannot just put distinct here and say, yeah, I solved the problem, it's only showing now one. That's not a problem. You have to normalize the table by altering the table. So now if I just go here and say, remember that alter customers. So when you run the alter customers right here, this one with Python, let's see if I just say Python in front of it, Python. Now it has auto increment here. So now if I run this one with select the star, notice another field comes in with the ID. Because if I say describe customers, and then you can see that the ID is there, right? So ID is there, and that's auto increment. So if you just run this one, and then now you do it, whether you put distinct or not, this is still unique records. If you put distinct, obviously you get one row. But one row, this is distinct, it just make it a unique record. Since, I'm sorry, not one row of a unique if only the records are there. Since I say star, for each row is unique. 5 rows, distinct of that one will be all 5 of them. But if I say select this one, start with a condition saying where ID is equal 5, this is just only going to show me row number 5, whether I put the word distinct or not. This is what I meant earlier. But you have to know what you're saying. And the distinct is just a keyword or reserve to make it one row showing, but the normalization is a different ballgame. You have to normalize your database to make sure you don't have redundancies and duplicate and anomalies, insertion anomaly, deletion, and update, as I showed you earlier. Okay, so at this time, I'm going to show you another table. I think we covered enough on one table. I'm gonna do clear screen here. There's another table called inventory, I believe, or let's see, clear screen, directory store, review. Let's see, vendor table. You can see that I worked on so many things. And then I thought that was the name of the table. So directory store, vendor store. Now I want to just, this time I'm creating this table with alter and as well as with vendor. So if I just say code create underscore vendor dot py, it opens vendor right here. And then on vendor, let me just close these other ones. And then I only want to have the create vendors. Vendor.py, and you can see here, I'm connecting to the same database, MyDB demo, but I'm doing a show tables first to get a list of the tables. Since I have the customer, I will show the customer. But this time I create the table and I already add the ID, INT, integer, and then auto increment primary key, name, and then a second one. So notice that there are 2 fields. One of them is already having primary key. So this one would be unique on it by itself. It already has a primary key for it, right? So then I can add more columns with alter, and I'll show you if you want to add 10 more fields, yes, you use alter table to modify them. But when we run this one should create a table called vendor right here. And these are the data and the formats. So if I just go back to my SQL, here I say describe vendor. Was it vendors or vendor? I think it is vendors, maybe. Describe vendors, yeah, multiple vendors. So I'm going to just make it plural right here, and then just run it, and then say describe that one. Now you can see that ID is there, name is there, and phone is there. Those ones are there. At this time, I have not inserted anything because of the records there, right? So I could add record into it and then insert it. And then let's say ID, name, phone. Let's just quickly update it using here. You say insert into vendors values, and then we could just say vendors. You could also have a placeholder for ID, comma name, like this. Say ID, comma name, comma phone. Or sometimes you could do this one, say values, and then just give the values. Or sometimes you put instead of the field name, you could say question mark, question mark, question mark, or percent. Those ones are also valid. I believe you could do values here and then say ID is equal 1, let's say. And then since it's auto incremented, you don't have to put ID here. We could just skip it and the system will provide that one for us. And then the name, let's say we call it Microsoft, right? And then say phone is, doesn't matter. I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 at this time. Doesn't matter, even not a 9-digit phone or 10-digit phone here. Just to see if we could just insert Microsoft here and there. So now we did that one, and then we want to say another record insert, let's say IBM, and then 515, doesn't matter. And then I'm going to do another thing is say, let's say Red Hat, and then another one, just say Ubuntu. Doesn't matter what company you will say Ubuntu. Another one is GNU, like some of the phone numbers and everything we could change, GNU and GNU. And then we could just say, let's one more one with MySQL itself or Oracle, Oracle Corporation. Well, so anything that you want to insert here, you could just put this statement and then run it. Now, if I say, okay, great, let's see if we could just do a select statement from this one, select from vendors, select the star from vendors, and then see if that statement ran and give me output. And right there, all of the informations are there. And because it's auto incremented with ID, everything is there. So there's no insertion anomaly or update anomaly. So if I just remove these ones and say, okay, let's just do update vendors, and then set name as equal. Let's just change the phone number. Set phone as equal, and then we just change the phone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That for where name is equal IBM. I don't know if IBM was having that name, yeah. Where name is equal actually Red Hat or GNU. So where name is GNU or name is equal Oracle Corp. So Oracle Corp, rather than saying Oracle Corp, you could say where name like, and then percentage Oracle. Oracle, that's good enough. Oracle, and then percentage. I don't say if it's on corporation or corp or something, you could just do that one. And then when you say run this statement, and then run this other one, say select from vendors, and let's see. Yeah, and now we run the selected statement, and the selected statement changed, but somehow it is not committed. IBM is there still the same thing. Maybe update vendors, set the phone number, this where name is equal this. Let me just do one of them. And the Boolean expression might have, I did not put it within the parentheses, might have not done it, but I want to do one of them. And then notice it takes a while. This one doesn't come up till it comes out with this statement, finishing it, and then, yeah. I think the semicolon is that new line characters, it has to fetch in. Select the star from vendors. Yeah, that reason might have been semicolon. And normally I would put semicolon, yeah. So now we changed the GNU and it did not take away. Set phone number where name is equal GNU. And GNU is 123. Actually phone number is set phone to, yeah, where name is equal GNU. I should have done this. Yeah, it's not. Oh yeah, IBM is 550, not that one. Okay, let's do it from Python. Python is cool, like I showed you last time. So we could check it on the command line here. Create vendors, create and alter vendors. So let's do the create and alter vendors first to make sure that we can just make the record different also. So and this more create and alter. This one of the vendor basically, while it is creating it at the same time and says that create table if not exist, so the table already exists, and then we want to do alter to it. Alter table vendors, add phone number, and after that is so the phone was already there. Drop phone is there. Alter vendors. Yeah, the phone is already there. Let me just run this thing. Python Yeah, that one, because the table, the field already exists, and that one we don't have to. Somehow from previous one I already had that here with the table name and phone. I think the phone is somewhere already added. I'm not sure which one is it. Let me just check. Yeah, so earlier I already used alter table on this one. That's why when it's already modified with alter table here, as you can see, alter table vendors add phone. So the phone is already there, and then that's why phone was added here. What I need to do is that if I want to just drop the vendor, then I can use the alter table from the command line or from here. But at this time, what I'm going to do is, let me see something here. If I just want to add another column, so let's say whatever column XYZ, if I want to just say, I want to say add column, let's say the address is there or not. So ID is there, name is there, phone is there. Let's just say I'm going to put address. If the address field, I want to just add it after name, I could do it, or after phone, or before phone. Actually, after name is good, before the phone is going to be added. So now I do this one and I save it. So now in the other column that is there, I could say, let's just run this time from the command line what it error route before. It should now add that one duplicate column name phone. Okay, the phone is already there. So this information that I'm having here, let me just make sure that this one is not duplicate, because if you just already added it, you cannot add it again, and that's alter problem, right? Alter statement. So what I need to do is open it in code, so I can look at the code to say, and it says phone already exists here. So let's see, the statement that I'm looking at here says duplicate column name phone. So what I want to do is make sure that I'm not adding the column the second time with alter table add phone. See that? So somehow what I did was saving it, and then it's the save did not take effect. So I need to just save it one more time here, and instead of add phone, I'm gonna say add address, and then oh, that one is commented, and there's another one with phone, most likely phone. Okay, table after alter. Let me just see what the alter statement. Read and alter vendors. Where's my alter statement? Alter table vendors at drop phone. My cursor and describe vendor table after this describe vendors. So this is just not actually doing alter statement somehow. Let me close all of this, and then I want to just see from command line the one that it is having a problem. Here, if I just clear screen and say this one code, the way you know it is this one fails, it says query, I mistyped it. And so there was a typo name. Whenever something is off, you have to refresh and just relook at it. So line 19, it says that create an alter query. It has a statement query to execute it. The query is not defined. So I'm gonna say, okay, let's open it in code, and we'll look at that one on line 19. So if I just type in 19 here on column, since I'm on VI tutorial, I should be able to go to line 19 and that's line 19 right there, query alter table, drop phone. So this is alter table, drop phone. If I want to drop the phone here, this is my query, and then that was commented. That should have not been commented. Now it is dropping the phone from the columns. So I say WQ. In this case, I'm not adding, I'm dropping. So phone is there. And then I'm just going to say WQ. And then let's run it again here now. And it just says 100 result found, line 20. Yeah, that was for the commit. So whenever you see 100 result found, the solution is to just open it and then go to DB commit. So once you do the alter, then right here, before you close the cursor or after closing the cursor, say db.commit, and then commit it, and then now save it. And now this one, it should run, and it does 100 result found again. Somewhere else is some issue. My query, show tables, alter table, DB query. Okay, so there's more than just one query that I'm doing. For each query, you have to commit it. So DB cursor, there, DB commit, DB close. Okay, my cursor close did not write it as a function. That's another problem here. And that's now corrected. All these typos, sometimes when you're writing too many of them, these things happen. Now 100 result, and then let me run it from the command line because I could see exactly the line number here. This is showing line number 130, but that's not line 20. Line 20 is my cursor dot close. Okay, so 100 result found, and then line 20, my cursor dot execute query. One of these lines that's duplicated. I'm running it more than once. 100 result found. That's what it's saying. So I'm going to just say, go to the top of the code, db connect, execute show tables. I don't need to do the show tables anymore. And then query alter table is there, my cursor dot execute query, and describe the vendor tables after the table is done. So execute describe vendors, and then I need to do this one here, and then my cursor dot execute query, and then result, and then fetch it, and then db commit. We only need to run those statements, and let's see if it errors out on the same line or it's now good. Yeah, it's all good now. See that what we did was that we opened the cursor, db cursor, but then we run this alter statement, and then after that, when we fetch the record, then we do a db commit, and then cursor close, and then close the database. So now if I run this other statement, obviously the alter is going to just fail because you cannot just do alter a second time. All right, so that is the problem because drop phone doesn't exist. This column doesn't exist. So what I need to do is, like, if I want to just drop something else, I could do that one, or don't run it like this, or add it at the column first and then do it. So that is what that one is. And then I'm going to just look at the next column, see what other program I have here for you to demo. Clear screen, and then directory store.py. And let's see for the vendors, directory store vendors. Yeah, those two are already mod and define it. And then if I want to do directory MySQL, and then you can also just do other statement, MySQL-con, Python, and .py, and other ones. So some of these other ones, I want to just show you MySQL db3.py. This one is also connecting to the Word the database, and it's selecting information from there, and then insert into customers, name, address, those ones, and there, and then what else? And directories, my SQL star. Let's see, my SQL drop DB. And if I want to drop the database, my SQL drop DB, I can always recreate it, but let's see what I'm dropping here. So I'm connecting to world, and then I'm connecting, dropping database if exists, my demo DB. So if I just want to drop that one, the whole database, I say Python, just run that one, and now it dropped it. My demo DB is not there. If I go to my SQL Workbench right here, and I say show the databases, show data and pages, and then you can see that it is my demo DB is gone. Okay, so a lot of things we did, and there's already some schema on these ones that you can also go get into SQL, say use Word, and then just do something like describe, show tables to get a list of tables, and then now say select start from city where name like K percentage. So anything that will start with K, and then you say count, let's say 10 of them. You can limit, actually, not count. Limit 10 of them, and then you could just say, show me any 10 rows that has the name is this. And let me say, select the start from city, and this would give you everything, and then all of the records. So if I want to get a count of it, how many records are on the city, and there you can see that it is 4,079. If I say let's see, describe city, so we can see the data structure of it, all the fields and everything. So you can see ID name. So I could say select select a name, select star from a name where a name in Kabul. Let's say if a name is in Kabul, then I could search for it, and then it did not find it. But let's do put a name is equal Kabul. See if that search is there. So why is it not coming? I'm gonna say where name like anything with percentage. Percentage means wildcard. Kabul percentage. Let's see if that would return percentage, and then just run that one. That should return. Why is it not doing it? Because it's 4,000 records. I think it is a little bit time there. If I say not where name, I say limit 10. It should give me only the 10 of those ones. Somehow it's not coming. So let me close out. Oh shoot. I'm going to do it anyways. Let's just do this. Go to my SQL Workbench and then connect to that and DB. I thought it was named DB demo something. Let me just remember. And the demo DB 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Demo DB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bang bang. Okay, so now I connected here. I'm gonna run this one, see if it was a limitation. No, I'm gonna say show databases first to make sure that the world has there and is there. Oh, the reason I did not say use when you're inside of MySQL Workbench, you have to say use which in a schema or world, and then you say select store from city where a name like percentage Kabul, because it was not going through that one, it would not understand it. I had to say use. So Kabul, and then that now I should run it. When I do this query, and notice that it gave me that one and the name, and that is started with KAB. But notice that if I just do some other match, obviously it will come there. However, right here, if I don't want to say the use statement, I could have also say world and dot city, because inside the database world, there's city information. This could have just returned the same record. But if you don't say city, it does not know which schema you're reading it from. So now if I say from country, now I don't know if country has the name or like you could say a name country like Afghanistan. Afghanistan. So that's Afghanistan is Kabul is the capital. So you can see that it is coming there. A lot of information you can pull it from there. Where country is like, let's say, Iran, and then you can search for it, and then say there. Where country is like Iran or name is equal USA. Let's say if USA shows up as well with United States. Maybe it's like I could say United, and then like where name like or name like United, because I know if it is United States, so then anything with United percentage should match that one. And then let's see if we run it. Iran, or let me just say, if I just remove database select, and then I could say where name like oh United, I put wrong Unite, and that's good enough. And then I have 2i. Okay, so now the code is hanging because of the where clause. Maybe let me just say where name is I'm gonna try a percentage AFG that was there for sure. Okay, so where name right now the database is hanging because country.name. So let's do use country use word, and then say notice that it is still red, but it eventually will fix itself. And then say describe country. So if I just do semicolon on these ones, and then semicolon on this one. Now everything, because of this semicolon, it works there. So now I learned something that within the MySQL, you have to use the scribe, and then notice that the disk coming name is there. So if I just want to say select a star from country where name like United, and let's say something like that, percentage, I don't have to spell it out, and then put a semicolon here, and then just run it, and now it says everything that is similar to United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom, United States, all of those ones shows up. And then I could say, or name like Afghanistan. I could just spell it AFG and then percentage, that would match it. And then, or that would be one statement just saying that there. And then now Afghanistan is also showing. So this or statement is either this or that. So anything, but if I just want to only show United States, States, and then take the percentage, and I could say name is equal. I know that that's the exact string. Then I could say name is equal United States and Afghanistan. So at this time, if I just match it, and then I could say undo that one, and then also let's say I want to also include or name is equal Iran. So if it's one of those three countries, United States or Afghanistan or Iran, then it will just show that. Similarly, if you want to say you want to add China or Russia or Switzerland or Germany, any country that you want to just add it here, you could do that. So if the or statement could be that, or you could say name and then this, or so one of these ones, and then I could say Afghanistan or name as equal Iran. So you could match multiple entries within the N statement. So where name N, those statements, you could do that one also. And you can see that it is saying that select a star from country, name N, United States or Afghanistan or Iran, or if you want to just add China. There. And then say Russia, and then Switzerland. So any country that you just listed here, the N clause should match all of those conditions. And when you run it, it just give you all of that. So you see that Switzerland is coming, the code is CHE, Afghanistan and AFG, China is CHN, Iran is IRN, and then USA, and then the name. You could also say, just show me the code in the country and the other one. And instead of searching everything, you could say, show me code, name, and then also region. So region. So if you say select those fields, you could pick up there and there, those fields. And then you could say also right here where you have the work, this, you could say order by and then name. So now you're sorting it by a name. So the first one shows Afghanistan, then China, Iran, and then this. If you want to go in descending order, USA would be on the top. So order by name and the descending order. And that would be just a descending order. Now USA shows up, China's second, Iran, and then China and Afghanistan. You could do it with the default or ascending order. as the default is ascending order, you don't have to just sort it there. It is there. If I just don't put the word ascending, you can group by, order by, and then there's a lot of other workflows you could do. With that in mind, I'm going to end this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you are going to subscribe to our channel and share it with your best friends and family members. And by sharing, you care about their life, about yourself, and then learn it and educate anybody in the community. God bless you all. Take care and have fun. Enjoy your life and being good to your community and yourself and all family members and friends, and do good in this earth. Be a peaceful person. Okay. Take care. Bye. Have a good one.